I hope you all are well. Today we'll start in continuation of chapter 4, that is HTML2 images, links and tables. We were studying tables and we will study few more things in tables now. So we have studied about align and v-align attributes. So by default, cell text is placed in the middle of the cell, aligned with the cell's left edge. Got it? Text will be by default in the middle. Middle means top, middle, bottom. Okay, so it will be in the middle as well as always on the left side. Okay, so by using align and v-align attributes, we can specify the text horizontal and vertical placement. Okay, so with align we can set horizontal alignment, that means left, center and right, and with v-align we can set vertical alignments, that means top, middle and bottom. So to align the text for a single column, you must apply the align attribute to every cell in that column. Okay, so if you have to align the content in such way, okay, vertically or horizontally, if you have to align, then you will have to put align or v-align attribute in each and every cell. Got it? Cell means TD. Okay, in TD tag you have to put align attribute. Okay, so I'll show you with the help of example. You can see if this is a table, and then in TD, if you want content at the top left, then you will have to use align left and v-align top. If you want content in the left side but vertically in the middle, then you will use align left, v-align middle. If you want it at the left bottom, then align left, v-align bottom. You have to put in TD tag. Got it? Each and every cell you will have to put align and v-align. Then after that, if you want it in the center but at the top, then align center and v-align top will you have to use. Okay, if you want it in exactly in the center, then you will use TD align center, TD v-align middle. Okay, then if you want it in the center but at the bottom, then align center, v-align bottom. If you want it right, top right, then align right and v-align top. If you want on the right side but vertically middle, then you will have to use align right, v-align middle. Okay, with TD. Then if you want at the bottom right, then you will use align, TD align right and v-align bottom. Got it? This you will have to use with TD tag. But now what if there are so many cells in a single row? We will study about T head, T body and T foot. Okay, it will simply create sections of the table. Okay, it will not change the table, but you can simply put some rows in T head, some rows in T body and some rows in T foot. Okay, and whatever changes you want to put, like align, v-align and this BG color, okay, then you can put in T head, T body and T foot accordingly. Okay, so T head tag is used to group the header content. In some of the tables you might have seen there are two or more headings. Okay, heading as well as subheadings. Like in subject, you know very well there are so many subjects. In subject, if it is physics, chemistry and maths, then physics, chemistry, maths heading will be the subheading. Okay, so that means there will be two rows in the header row. At that time we can put all those rows, like two rows in T head. Okay, then T head element is used in conjunction with T body and T foot. So if you are using T head, you should also use T body and T foot. So elements to specify each part of the table. Okay, like if you have to mention header, put it into T head. If you have the body of the table, you can put it in T body, and the footer means the last row, in which like sometimes you need to calculate sum and all. So at that time you can put it into the footer row. Okay, so you can use T foot for that. Now note, the T head element must have one or more TR tags inside. Got it? At least one TR tag should be there. You can use more. So how many attributes it will support? It will support 3 attributes: align, v-align and BG color. Okay, see, it looks like this. First row we have kept in T head. Both the rows, these two rows we have kept in T body, and sum, this last row we have kept in T foot. Okay, now let's see the code. See, it's normal HTML basic structure. Then table tag is used, border 1 is used, and width also is used so that you can see it clearly. Then after that, first row, I said first row is header row, so we have kept it in the T head. Okay, and I have also used the attribute BG color yellow. If you want to use align and V align, you can use it here only, like BG color yellow, then align equals to center. After that you can use V align also. Okay, then after that TRTH, okay, month and saving. You can see 2 boxes are there, 2 cells are there, so for 2 cells we have used TH. Okay, TH means header row. Header row, that means the content will be in the center as well as it will be slightly bold. Okay, it will be different from the normal rows. Then after that T body BG color, you can see there are 2 more rows apart from T header row. Okay, header row. Then here you have to put these 2 rows inside T body. Okay, I have separated it with the different background color. You can see BG color cyan here. Then 2 rows are inside it. Okay, then close T body and then start T foot. That means last row, you can see it is sum of 2 rows. Okay, that means it should also look different from other rows. Okay, so you can put last row inside T foot, and I have kept here BG color pink. Okay, so these are mostly used for section, and any of the attribute, like 3 attributes I have told you, BG color, align and V align, if you have to use, then you can put it into different sections in T head, T body and T foot. One more thing was left, that is doc type. It was in previous chapter but I didn't taught you then. All HTML documents must start with the doc type declaration. Okay, it is not compulsory to write, but if you want some HTML rules and regulations to be followed, then we should use doc type. Okay, so the declaration is not an HTML tag, it is an information to the browser about what type to expect. Okay, which type of document it is, which type of tags we should use and all. So in HTML5 it is declared like this. Okay, less than symbol, exclamation mark, and then doc type. You can write doc type in capital and small both, because HTML is not case sensitive. Okay, followed by HTML. And if you are using the lower version, like we are using lower version, so we can use HTML 4.01. Some advanced tags have been introduced in HTML5, and that is why it is different from HTML4. So HTML4, if we have to put doc type, then we can use this line. Okay, and this, it actually includes the loose.dtd in the page. Then what will happen, it will check the validity of the document. Okay, so it can be written like this. Okay, about the basic structure of the HTML, we can put doc type, exclamation doc type mark, and then HTML at the top. Now form controls, you might have seen registration form, login form, etc. So here we will learn to insert the forms. So the following form controls are input, text area, checkbox, radio, select, etc. In HTML5, some more form controls have been included, like text, password, date time local, date, month, time, week, number, email, URL, search, tell, and color, etc. Okay, so we will study about these only right now. So you can see here, name, you can insert name here. Here you can insert email. These are text boxes. Then password box you have seen, and this password is not visible. Okay, then these are check boxes, so you can check it. These are radio buttons. This is select list. Okay, you can click on it, then some numbers will appear and you can select. For this you can use for countries, list of countries, city, etc. Then comment, this is text area in which you can put multiple line comments. Okay, then this is submit button to submit the form so that data can be sent on the next page to check the validity, and reset is there to clear the form. Okay, so this is the basic structure. You can see Form action, this I will tell you in the last page. Okay, then method get is also there. These two attributes I will teach you later on. Now label for user. Okay, this is the label to display the content. You can see this is the content. Content can be displayed in label. Okay, and then input type text. For this text box we have to use input type text. Okay, that's it. Class and ID can be used for designing purpose. Okay, so it is not compulsory to write. You can simply write input type text. That's it. Now enter your email. You can see input type email. Got it? Then for password you have to write input type password. Class and ID is not compulsory to write. You can use it for designing purpose. Okay, that I will teach you in the next chapter. Now checkbox, first checkbox, second checkbox, third checkbox. Okay, so for that you have to use input type checkbox. Got it? There is naming convention. It is very simple. If you have to use text box, you will use input type text. If you have to use email, then use input type email. If you have to use password, input type password. If you have to use checkbox, then you write input type equals to checkbox. Got it? So in type you have to simply change the values. Okay, so here the value you have to put, value is bike. Okay, input type checkbox, the checkbox will not read this content. Okay, so value we have to put that what is the value of this checkbox. Okay, if we are clicking on this, what will be selected? Bike will be selected. Okay, so here input type checkbox and value also you have to put, and that is value bike. Here the second checkbox, input type checkbox and the value car. Then input type checkbox, value is boat. Got it? Now gender. So here in gender you can see this is radio button. Any one can be selected, and this one is disabled. You cannot select it. Okay, so I have told you as many options that is possible here. Okay, so here you can see 3 radio buttons are given. This is already checked, this is not checked, and this one is disabled. So here first one is input type radio. It is checked. You can see I have written here checked. Okay, and that is why it is already checked. Now next is input type radio. That's it. It is unchecked. Simply write input type radio. Then after that, and remember the name is also same. Okay, you can choose any name, like you can write gender over here. That's it. And then input type radio. Then here it is written disabled. Okay, it is the attribute disabled to disable the radio button so that nobody can select it. Now select drop down. If you have to create list in the drop down, then you have to use select. Okay, you can directly write select, no need to write class and ID. I have already told you. Then after that option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4 and so on. Here you can write the city name also. Okay, like option just Delhi, option 2 Mumbai, option 3 Chennai, option 4 it is Kolkata, like that. Okay, so you can, in place of numbers, you can put the text. Okay, now label for comment. Yes, this is comment box. Okay, for comment box we have to use text area. Got it? Text area, you can see here the text area, and then here you have to simply close the text area. Okay, it is container tag. Select box, select is also container tag. You have to write all options inside the select. Okay, and the last one you can see input type submit button is there. You have to write, for submit button you have to write input type submit. What you want to display, that you have to write in value submit. Okay, in place of submit, here in the value you can write login also, sign up, sign in. Okay, various type of options that you have already seen in various web pages you can write. Got it? So if you have to change the content written on the button, you have to change the value of the value attribute of input type submit. Now if you have to clear the form, whatever you have filled, if you have to clear it, then you have to use input type reset. Now form. So form attributes I was telling you, get and post method. Now first of all I will tell you about action also. Action means when we click on the submit button, then whatever page we have mentioned in the action, it will be taken, the form will be taken on that particular page only. Okay, all the values means the next page will be the page that we have mentioned in action attribute. Okay, now next is the method get. Okay, this is method attribute. Form have two methods. We can also use some more like id, class, name also, but two common attributes of form are action and method. The method attribute specifies how to send form data. That means whatever page we will mention in the action, on that page all the values will be sent which you have filled in the form. The form data can be sent as a URL variable. Okay, the difference I will show you. In get, the data will be sent in the URL, and in post the data will be sent in HTTP post transaction. Okay, URL you know very well. In the address bar you will be able to see the address of the website, and that is the URL. Okay, that means get, if we are using method get, then we will be able to see the data in URL. So now we'll study about get. Append form data into the URL in name value pair. Got it? Name, value, everything will be seen in URL when it will be sent to the next page. The length of the URL is limited. It will be 3000 characters, up to 3000 characters, and never use get to send sensitive data. Okay, because it is visible to all. So sensitive data should not be sent like password and all. Then useful for form submission, where a user wants to bookmark the result. Okay, if the content is to be bookmarked, then at that time it is useful. Okay, get method. Then get is better for non-secure data. If you don't want to secure the data, then you can use method get, but mostly people nowadays are using post only. So like query strings in Google, you might have seen query strings in Google. When we write something in search box in the Google and then we click on search button, at that time you just see the URL. In URL, whatever you have typed in the search box will be displayed. Okay, so notes on the post now. So post means it will append the form data inside the body of the HTTP request, not in the URL. It will be, the content will be there in the web page only. Okay, HTTP request. So that means data is not shown in the URL and has no size limit. We can send the complete form data to the next page, and form submissions with post cannot be bookmarked. Okay, so if we have to bookmark, that page cannot be bookmarked. Okay, so mostly it is used most of the time. If you are using it for the secured one, then you can use it for login pages. Okay, wherever you have to use sensitive data like passwords, usernames and passwords. So this you can see the example of get, method get. Okay, this is a simple example in which I have entered first name and last name. Okay, this is submit button. Then here form action underscore page dot php. Okay, so this, when we click on this button, this data, okay, the data that I have written in text box will be sent to the next page. And which page? The next page is the action underscore page dot php that we have mentioned in action. Got it? The two important attributes are action and method of the form. Got it? So action, we have to write the page name on which we have to send the data, and the method we will write get or post. So here we have used get. That means when we click on submit button, both the values will be seen in the URL. Okay, so let's say f name equals to Neelam and L name equals to Prajapat. Okay, you can see it in the URL. Okay, and this is done with the help of post. The values are received with the help of PHP language. PHP means hypertext preprocessor. It is server-side scripting language. When we have to send request from the form to the database, or we have to receive the response from the database and we have to show it in the form, at that time we will use PHP language. And this is w3cschools.com. I have already told you that if you have to do practicals, you can visit this website. It will be very easy for you to do practicals on this website. Okay students, only this much for today. If you have not understood any of the tag, you can contact me, see videos again and again for revision, and practice all the tags, learn all the tags, and practice all the tags practically. Thank you. Have a nice day.